welcome to Yin Yoga. So a couple things about Yin before we get started. Yin is a very meditative, passive practice. So we go into poses for long periods of time. And the purpose behind that is to compress the ligaments, joints, and extend the fascia in our bodies to really get that deep stretch. So when you come into the poses tonight, go into the poses about 60%. Go into the poses to where you start to feel that stress in your body, and then we stay. We stay for long periods of time, and you commit to stay there. Now, you can come onto the pose at any time if anything is painful, pinching, burning sensations, arms are falling asleep, legs are falling asleep, anything like that, your body's signaling that it needs to move in a different direction. So feel free to come out of the pose if you need to. As you're in the poses, if you lose that edge, that stress point where you're not feeling much in that pose, feel free to go deeper. Go a little deeper, push your hips a little farther, different heights with the blanket as we come into those different poses. So you really have to kind of listen to your body. So we'll start in just an easy seat to begin with, just again to become present. So just come to that easy seat, sit up nice and tall, let the shoulders relax, close over those eyes, and feel free throughout the whole practice to keep your eyes closed. Really get in tune with your body, really get in tune with your mind. And these pauses and these long poses, they're like little mini meditations. It gives you time for that quietness, that time to really, work through some stuff either through your body or through your mind. So take a few nice breaths here. Just breathe nice and softly. Nothing needs to be forced or pushed. A nice gentle breath. So oftentimes when we allow for quiet, our mind continues to race. So feel free to repeat this to yourself. Breathe and release anything that does not serve you. Breathe and release anything that does not serve you. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more nice deep breath in. Nice long exhale. Just let it draw out. You can gently open your eyes. We'll come into the first pose, butterfly with a little bit of fish. So if you have your blanket, like I said, you can roll up your blanket to the height you want. We're going to place the blanket right at the base of our shoulder blades going up. So start off just getting positioned on the ground. We just want a little bend to your back. And if this is too much with your head leaning back, feel free to move around that blanket so that your head rests back onto the blanket. It doesn't have to be a big bowl back here, just a little back bend. And then when you're ready, allow your legs to butterfly out. So feel free to bring the soles of your feet a little closer or a little farther out. And just let those knees drop open. Good. You don't need to work pushing the knees down toward the ground. Just let gravity do the work. Arms can be nice and wide out to a T, or maybe they rest on your lower belly. One hand on your heart, one hand on your lower belly is also nice. And just let your muscles relax. Everything release. And then just breathe. Take a few more breaths here. Let those hips soften. If you're not feeling much in your back, feel free to go ahead. Just kind of puff up that blanket a little bit for these last few moments. Maybe now is when you drop your head back slightly. Take one more breath in. Nice long exhale. And then if you had your head tip back slightly, draw your chin to your chest. Roll up enough to remove that blanket from behind your back. And then let yourself come all the way back down onto your mat. Let your back come nice and flat. And then we'll work on moving those legs. So maybe one knee at a time. You bring them up toward the sky, bringing those legs together. And just take pause. Just kind of feel any sensations where you're feeling it in your body. Maybe you're feeling a lot in your back, maybe in those inner thighs. You can always feel free to stay still, but if movement is what your body craves, feel free to move around. Maybe extend your legs. Maybe windshield wipe your knees from side to side. Maybe a combination of both. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly roll on up. Coming into shoelace. So we're going to take this right leg underneath that left. Left leg is going to come over on top. Feel free to sit on your blanket to keep your hips up a little higher, just to give a little tilt to your hips. That sometimes is very helpful. So if you're kind of struggling, feel free to try that. You can also let this right leg go nice and long and just take half shoelace. So you're gonna come into that stress point where you start to feel it, but it's not too much that you can't hold for a long period of time. So get yourself all set. Good. Take a nice breath in. As you exhale, just gently twist over to that left side. Again, you don't need to force the twist. We don't want to engage the muscles. Just twist till you find your stopping point, till you kind of stop. Just hold there. Feel free to close the eyes. Relax the hips. Back to center with your chest. Taking a little side bend, you can place that left hand down and just lean your chest over. If it feels good to extend that right arm up and over, feel free to do that. Find where you're nice and relaxed. Keep that right sit bone down onto your mat. And if you're not using the blanket for your hips, feel free to use it for your hand, or maybe come down onto your forearm on that blanket. lift your chest up nice and tall. You can stay here with your legs. Stay here nice and tall in your chest. Or if you like a little more in the hips, they need to feel a little more. Feel free to fold forward. Putting just a little bit of weight onto those legs. You can walk your hands out. Again, just make sure nothing's painful, pinching, hurting sensations. You want that good, deep, achy pain or achy feeling. If you lowered your chest, slowly lift it back up. We're gonna come out. So you can bring your hands behind, gently unwrap your legs, nice and slow, take your time. Savor the feelings as you come out. Again, feel free to stay still. Feel free to moan and groan. Feel free to bring some movement. Maybe bounce those knees up, windshield wiper from side to side. Sometimes being still is nice because then you can kind of feel the sensations in your legs, the rebound of the pose before we move to the next. You can also rub your legs, just kind of get everything moving. Then we'll make our way to dragon. So we'll start in tabletop. Again, you can use that blanket for underneath that right knee. We're gonna step that left foot forward. So blanket can go underneath the right knee if you need a little more support there. Walk this left foot as far forward as it feels okay, and then let those hips sink. Again, to find that stress point, feel free to walk that left foot a little wider, give space for your chest. Both hands can come to the inside. You can also stay up a little taller if you'd like. Nice tall arms, or feel free to bend those elbows, bring that chest down, and find your edge. Find where you really start to feel it in your body. And then just commit to stay there. Allow the breath to keep you calm. Winged dragon. Just bring that knee out to the side to lift up the inside sole of that left foot. Again, find your stopping point, find your edge, and then just hold. knee out to the side. Gently put that foot back down onto the ground. Slowly and gently shift your hips back. Again, take your time. And feel free to pause along the way. You can maybe lengthen out that left leg. Take a little half splits. Sometimes I tend to like to rock a little back and forth. Again, do whatever your body's calling for. And then when you're ready, we'll come into tabletop, sweep that left knee back. And feel free to sway the hips a little side to side. Maybe do a couple circles. Just a little bit of movement. Then when you're ready, we'll come into shoelace on the other side. So again, come onto your seat, let your legs go nice and long. Again, feel free to come onto that blanket if you'd like to sit on top of the blanket. This time we're gonna bring that left leg underneath the right. Right leg comes on top. So your hips might feel a little different on this side. Each side is a little different. So maybe you want that blanket, maybe you don't. Again, left leg can extend nice and long. You can take a half shoelace. Or even this right foot can come out a little bit in front. Again, sit up nice and tall. Let both sit bones be grounded onto your mat. And take a nice breath in. As you exhale, just gently twist over to that right side. Again, just bring your chest over to where it stops. Just hold. We want to allow our muscles to relax so we can really get deeper into the body. Gently bring your chest back to center. When you're ready, you can take that little side bend, just lean over to that right side. And feel free to grab a blanket, maybe place your forearm on a blanket, or yoga block if you have yoga blocks. Keeping this left sit bone onto your mat. Left hand maybe reaches up and over. You're gonna open that left side a little bit more. Maybe it rests behind your head. Maybe it just rests on your legs. Again, very little effort. Slowly lift your chest back up nice and tall. Again, feel free to stay here, or if you'd like to fold a little, just hinge at those hips and walk your hands out. Making sure your sit bones stay down so you're not lifting them off the mat. bend forward, gently lift your chest. When you're ready, making your way out, bring your fingertips behind, gently uncross your legs. Again, feel free to take pause. Feeling the rebound of the pose. And if you want to bring some movement, maybe bending those knees, you can sway them side to side. Feel free if your neck at any time feels a little stiff to move that around as well. Good. And you can rub your legs. Maybe especially where you feel it. Then we'll come to the other side in that dragon. So we'll start off in that tabletop, bringing the right foot forward this time. Again, blanket can come underneath that left knee for a little more support. Let those hips shift forward, again, till you feel that little stress. If you have yoga blocks or water bottles or a book that you'd like to have your chest up a little higher, feel free to grab something to have that lift. Right foot can walk a little wider, and give space for your chest to come down. If you're at that point, come to your stress point, and then just hold. Staying with that nice gentle breath. Again, feel free to stay here. If you'd like to take that winged dragon, just bring that right knee out to the side, let it fall open. Take a few more breaths here. Just release anything that does not serve you. Let's take one more breath. Brought your right knee out to the side. Gently place that right foot back down onto your mat. And then slowly with intention, bring your hips back. And you can lengthen out that right leg. You can also feel free to take tabletop right away. I like to shift my hips back and forth a few times. Ready? Come Come back into your tabletop. Again, feel free to move those hips a little side to side. Maybe do a few circles. Maybe take a cat and cow if your back is feeling at all stiff. Let's bring a little bit of movement. And then we'll come onto our back. Feel free to use that blanket maybe underneath your shoulders for a little extra cushion, or sometimes a little bit of warmth. Hug both knees into your chest, just rock a little side to side, get your back nice and grounded. Lengthen both legs up toward the sky, twisted root. So much like shoelace, we're gonna bring that left leg across to your right. You can bend at your knees. Feel free also to cross at your ankles, or you can just keep your knees together. Arms can come nice and wide, and let both knees drop over to that right side. Let both shoulders remain relaxed down. If you find this left shoulder is coming up, just bring your knees up. Or maybe use that blanket, roll it up, place it underneath that left knee, just for a little more support. Just relax that upper body. Slowly unwrap those legs. Bring both feet back down into your mat. And sway those knees a little side to side, releasing that lower back. When you're ready, we'll make our way to the other side. So again, bring both feet up toward the sky. Right leg double crosses over the left. Again, bending at your knees, crossing at your ankles. Or you can keep your knees just stacked together. And let both knees fall over to that left side. Gaze to drop to your right. Let the shoulders melt down into your mat. Your body is nice and relaxed. Bring those knees back to center, uncross your legs. Just take pause. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, make your way to your Shavasana. So feel free to stay exactly where you are.
You can let your hands come onto your belly, arms more along your side.
Feel free to lengthen out those legs. If you have that blanket, feel free to cover up with that blanket. Get yourself nice and warm and cozy. Once you're there, let's take one more nice deep breath in. Fill up with air as much as you possibly can. And a nice long exhale. Exhale it all out and release your whole body down onto your mat. And come back to that nice gentle breath. And just breathe. We'll start to gently deepen the breath. When you're ready to add on some movement, feel free to wiggle around the fingers, maybe move around the toes. You can gently roll onto one side. Bring your knees up by your chest. And slowly make your way to an easy seat. Keeping your eyes nice and heavy. Keeping that feeling of ease in your body. Placing both hands onto your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Nice long exhale. Let it all go. One more breath in. Release what doesn't serve you. Exhale it out. From my heart to yours, namaste.